I love the smell of episode 4 in the morning.
Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. This is season 3, episode 4, number 94. I'm Mike, along with me is my brother Ron, and we talk about boomer topics, things that get our attention, and things that tend to get our attention tend to be boomer topics. And Ron, tonight we're going to talk about Robert Duvall. But before we get too much into Robert Duvall, I do want to remind everyone to get out there and go down to the bottom of the page and hit that subscribe button. We'd like to add subscribers all the time, and we've generally been doing it, and we'd like to continue to do that if you'll help us out, folks. But number 94 is significant. You did all the math and went back and counted up all the episodes we've done, including some that weren't on YouTube. And we're doing the countdown to 100. And at the very least, we'll, moon everybody on number
we'll
100.
Acknowledge it in
no, we
some
won't
way.
do that, but some way.
Yeah.
We might just keep saying 100 or something and only be a 5-minute episode. But Robert Duvall, as everyone knows, if you've watched the news, he died recently at the age of 95. And he started, and what an actor. Just so much to admire about Robert Duvall as a person and as an actor. Oh, his choice of roles is unbelievable. It's just out of control. Yeah. What do you got to say about Robert Duvall, though, Ron?
Well, I hadn't really thought about him much until you brought him up as a subject. And I was like, well, okay, I agreed to it. And so I just started looking up a few things. And it's funny, he's one of those guys that, and I call him an actor's actor, I guess because he can really sink into the roles, and he does with such ease that you kind of forget about what he has done. Which, could be a good thing as far as a movie goes, but a bad thing as far as recognition goes. And, and I was going back and looking at his career, and I was going like, hey, he was the original Frank Burns in the MASH movie. Great character. And, hey, I forgot about him being in The Godfather.
Oh, how could you forget that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, he's done so many things. I was just like, oh, yeah, he's The Godfather. And, and then he has one of the most repeated lines of all time from Apocalypse Now. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I mean, how many times have you heard that one? That's just a part of his career. That's not even getting toward the back end, which got even better.
He's when you see Robert Duvall in a movie, unlike many actors and many actors that are popular and icons, John Wayne would be a good example. When you're watching a John Wayne movie, and it can be, and I love John Wayne, and you do too, but you're always aware he's John Wayne. Mm-hmm. John Wayne just can't really get lost in a character. And Robert Duvall is almost as recognizable. He's certainly got a recognizable face. He's not the kind of actor that sinks into his role so deeply that he disguises the way he looks or gets a new haircut or does something that changes his appearance so much that you really don't recognize him. You always recognize Robert Duvall, but man, you forget that you're watching a movie. You think you're watching a documentary about this guy that used to be a Texas Ranger who's out with his buddy looking for a renegade who is murdering people, and you just get totally lost in any character Robert Duvall does because he's real. He's the most real actor that I've ever seen. It's you forget anything except what's going on in the movie. You forget you're in a movie, and you forget you're watching a movie. My favorite Robert Duvall movie is Tender Mercies. Back all the way back in 1983, he won the Academy Award for Tender Mercies as Best Actor, and really, it's a movie where nothing much is going on. It's just this guy who used to be successful, who isn't successful anymore, and he's out there working hard, just living his life. and it's almost like he's a friend of yours, and you're talking to him about the struggles he has. It's what a tribute to an actor that he can do something like that. Robert Duvall.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Robert Duvall movie, Ron?
Well, it's kind of hard because he's been like a side character in a lot of great movies, but he had never been like the main
Right.
character. But I'm gonna jump on one that nobody's gonna mention. If you ask anybody, um, and I just saw it years ago on HBO, and I've seen it like about 2 or 3 times. But it's been a very long time since I've seen it. The Great Santini. Because it's so unlike anything else he did, because he's just a massive jerk in this movie. And I always remember
Yeah.
him, just torturing his son, who played by Michael O'Keefe, who was in, the young kid in Caddyshack, and, he was on Roseanne and, some other stuff. But I always remember that scene where he's like, the kid's out there playing basketball, and he comes out there, he's like a military guy, and he's like, hard ass. And, he comes out there and he's like messing with him and talking to him about something. And he's bouncing the basketball off his forehead while he's talking to him. And he goes like, "Oh, come on. You gonna cry? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Cry. Come on." And, bounce the basketball off his forehead while he's talking, and never misses a beat, never misses the ball, and just keeps rhythmically bagging the basketball off his head. And he was just, it was just an interesting character study, interesting movie, and one that he actually was the star of. And I just tend to remember it.
The thing that most people remember Robert Duvall for, though, is his joint starring role in the Lonesome Dove miniseries.
Yep.
Which is just maybe the best thing I've ever seen. It's right there with Tombstone. The only problem I see with Lonesome Dove is, and I tell this to people who haven't seen it, I tell them, hey, look, number one, you need to see it. Number two, don't start it if you've only got an hour to watch and get started on it.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is whatever you had planned for the rest of that day, unless it's absolutely immovable, like a wedding, your daughter's wedding or something, unless it's something like that, you're going to cancel all of it and watch Lonesome Dove, which is a multi-hour miniseries. I don't even know, 8 hours maybe, or 10 hours.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure how long.
Sure, you gotta have to look it up.
I've never timed it, but I've got a couple of copies of the movie, by the way. I've got an old VHS copy, and I've got a DVD. But you're going to watch it, and it's going to pull you in. Of course, Robert Duvall is not the only actor in it, but when you team him with a guy like Tommy Lee Jones, you've got you've got a clinic in acting, you've got a clinic in storytelling, you've got a clinic in putting together something that you'll remember the rest of your life, and probably go back to in a year's time and watch again, or maybe less than a year's time and watch again, and watch it until you've memorized half the script. It's just that good. And Robert Duvall's the real reason for it. He's just the guy that makes everything work in that movie.
Well, he meshes well with others.
You got another Robert Duvall movie,
Godfather,
or Robert Duvall memory or anything?
James Caan and all the guys, Brando, and all these huge guys,
Yeah.
And then one,
Right.
like you're talking about, where he's with Tommy Lee Jones, and what that reminds me of is that movie Secondhand Lines, him and Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Another great actor,
And that's basically a comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially a comedy front to back, done seriously. It's got, some serious things in it, but it makes you laugh. And most people, if in recent years, younger people, if they've seen a Robert Duvall movie, and if they've got a Robert Duvall movie on their favorites, it's
That's probably
Secondhand Lines. It's been on
yeah.
television so much, it's been
Mm-hmm.
streamed so much, it's been free so much where you can see
Yeah.
it for free, that it's the one people see. And let's see, what was the year for that? Secondhand Lines was
It was the
2003.
90s.
So
I'm
it's
not sure what year.
if you're sitting here 30 years old,
Yeah.
something like that, you're that's the one you remember. Yeah,
Or
I mean
maybe
that's when it
early
was released
2000.
in
Well, they had
theaters,
that
but
kid, that's grown
it kind of
now, but,
became.
the one from The Sixth Sense and all that stuff. So,
Oh, sure,
yeah.
sure. Uh, anyway, Ron, we just wanted to do a little tribute to Robert Duvall. And by the way, I don't have a song of the week this week, but if you want to appreciate Robert Duvall and appreciate music, just look up some of the music from Tender Mercies, because Robert Duvall played an old country singer, and there's a lot of good music on that soundtrack, and all of it's worth paying attention to, and Duvall's involved in a good bit of it. So it just shows you what he's capable of. I always thought a good actor can always sing, because even if you can't sing normally, when you're a good actor, you get enough into the role,
That
you
was
figure
one of
out
the
a way to
talents of
sing.
an old
And
classic
I
actor
think
was to
that's
be
how
able to
Robert
sing and
Duvall
dance.
really was.
Back in the old days, if you couldn't sing and dance, you couldn't be an
Yeah,
actor.
that's right.
I mean, that's, all of them. You look at all of them, all the
Well,
actresses,
I
actors,
wondered,
they all could sing and dance. All of them. Marilyn Monroe even could
does
sing
he
and
have a
dance.
role where he dances? I can't remember one,
I,
but I
I,
wouldn't
I don't
swear there
believe
isn't
he ever
one.
dances. He
Well, hey,
I tell you something else about him, that he was good at being a bad guy, and kind of, like I said, with Great
he
Santini, he
was.
was a jerk. Another movie where he was a massive jerk was The Natural. He was the reporter that was
He
following
can
Robert
pull it
Redford
off.
around and exposed his. He was a big jerk in that movie.
Well, he was a bad guy in True Grit. The final
Yep,
showdown with John
yep,
Wayne.
that's
Robert
right. He
Duvall was
was.
one of the bad
Yep,
guys
he sure
when
was.
John Wayne did his "fill your hands, son of a bitches" line, and
Yep,
so
he was a
yeah, Robert
horrible human
Duvall,
being and
he
swing
can do
blade as
he.
well.
Well, he passes the test. He can play the president of the United States, and he can play a homeless man. He
Yeah.
can do that and everything in between. By the way, his father was an admiral. By the way, you mentioned the great
Oh wow, I
Santini
didn't know
several
that.
times, and
That's cool.
Robert Duvall's father was an admiral. So that's something a lot of people don't know about him. The late great Robert Duvall. Any final words, Ron, before we go back into the
No,
sunset
it's.
for
I
another
think we've
episode?
just about covered the greatness that is Robert Duvall.
That's it. We've talked about how great he was, and just shared our admiration with him. I mean, there's lots of movies we haven't mentioned, and maybe if you're out there and you're looking for something to do as far as entertaining yourself, maybe if you haven't been through more than a couple of Robert Duvall movies, maybe just a survey of Robert Duvall films, that'll keep you busy
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
while, and you'll
a
come
nice
away,
cinematic
I think,
rabbit
with just
hole to
much.
go down.
Absolutely. Boomer Bongo, Robert Duvall out. We'll be back to talk about another movie icon next week. I think we're going to spend some time talking about Clint Eastwood.
Okay, sounds good.